Hi, chicas. Welcome to episode 3, Bien Lunes of Milking It. I'm your host, Sofiamiia. And today's topic is going to be about freezing eggs. I did freeze my eggs. This week is the 1 year anniversary of when I got my eggs retrieved. So I just wanted to share my experience with you guys because it's something I never thought I would do. Am I happy I did it? I think so. Um, and I just wanted to give you guys some info about it. I think it matters because I think it's really a big deal for women to have autonomy over their body, and have the decision. And this time last year, I filed for divorce. Around this time was when I was fully decided I was going to be single and be separated. And I was like, you know what? I'm already binge eating. I'm already sitting on the couch, sulking, doing nothing. I might as well freeze my eggs. And I will say I was in, like, I would call it depression for the most part. Let me get comfy. So I decided to go to a place called Halo Fertility. It's located in Palos Verdes. I got a couple recs from my aunt there, and they did a really good job. I did feel like a little bit like a number towards the end, but I also really am kind of like anti healthcare as I like use healthcare to freeze my eggs. I don't know. I just feel weird around doctors and stuff like that. I'm very cynical. I'm very like, is that true? Like, are you just trying to sell me? A very important thing to request is your AMH levels. So your AMH levels, you get it through a blood test, super easy. Is how many eggs or how fertile technically you are. So for a woman in her 30s, 2.0 to 4.0 is normal. I came in at 1.8. And the doctor told me that every year in your 30s, your AMH levels typically significantly decline. So I was like, I'm single. I don't want to like turn 35 and then be like, holy shit, I need to be with somebody and get pregnant. I didn't want to just get pregnant or marry some Joe Schmo or miss out. If you knew me growing up, I didn't really know if I wanted kids. I was like, I don't know, I just want all the money for me. I want to be able to travel. But now, as a 32-year-old woman who has money and who travels, I can picture myself having kids. My mom had 5 kids and loved being pregnant, like absolutely loved it. As a woman, I adore women, obviously, and I just think that we are fucking badass. And I do want to experience being pregnant. Like, I want to feel it. I want to create life. But I can also see myself not having kids. Like I can see myself maybe being this jet setter bad bitch, but I think towards the end of the day I'm leaning towards having kids, and I think it's just a beautiful thing to try to raise a kid with another person. I think that's really special. However, if for some reason I was not able to have kids, I do think I could come to peace with that. I'm also very open to adoption and other outlets. So that's kind of like where I stand with kids. This process is not cheap, ladies. I think it was about $11,000. I just threw that shit on my credit card. Still working on that. I actually do know somebody who donated their eggs for families in need, and then they froze their eggs for free, which I think that's a really great option if that's something that you wanted to do. I was very, very surprised on how quickly the process was. It's really only about 3.5 weeks total, maybe 4 weeks, including the removal. Something that I do also want to touch on is I feel like society like says that women aren't fertile after 30. And I don't know, listening to this doctor, he was like, your AMH levels do go down. I don't know. I just feel like I see a lot of women having babies. I don't know if it's because science has progressed so much. So many people in their 30s are having IVF. My aunt had a baby at 42. She did do IVF, or she did do, yes, IVF. It did not work. But then after she stopped like being stressed about it, she got pregnant naturally. So that's amazing. I obviously don't want to say that like it's not like that it's, it's not true. You stay just as fertile. But I don't know, from my experience and what I've seen online and on podcasts and just what I see women doing now, I feel like you can get pregnant after 30. I don't want to be as conspiracy theorist. It's like, oh, they want us to have babies in our 20s to lock us down. But I've heard that story 1 in a million times too. Anyway, also something about your AMH levels. It is a blood test. You can get it done. You don't have to go to a clinic. I've had 2 friends ask for this blood test and they're like, no, like you don't need that now. Like it's not necessary. You have to advocate for yourself, not just for like to get your AMH levels, but as a woman, or actually as a human in America, since healthcare is so expensive and it seems like it's pulling teeth to get answers when you're sick, please advocate for yourself. So if you're just going in and getting blood tests anyway once a year, demand your AMH levels. As a woman, knowledge is power. And what if you went and got your AMH levels and they were like a point something, like that would, and then you never checked? Or what if you never checked till you were 35? It would just be a missed opportunity. So I give you the encouragement to demand those levels. If you're worried about your fertility, it's a blood test. Like I said, it's super easy. So again, it took about 3 weeks. I was very nervous about the hormones because I was in a very, very depressed state already. I was like, is this going to make it worse? Honestly, not really. Again, this is me. Everybody is different. I did get extremely uncomfortably bloated by week 2, but I expected that. Again, I was kind of like in my sulking hole of an apartment anyway, just binge watching Netflix, Love is Blind, Love Island, all those things, crying because I'm like, I'm not in love, but that's okay. And I did do all the shots by myself at home. I know some clinics will do the shots for you. I didn't really want to drive 40 minutes from Long Beach to PV to do that. So I did it myself. It was really, honestly, easy. You just pinch your tummy and inject the hormones. And honestly, it was easy for me. Like, I don't know if that's crazy or not, but it was. I was really, really pushing for double-digit eggs. I really wanted to get 14 eggs. Me and my family's lucky number is 14. If you don't know this, me and all my 3 other siblings were all born on the 14th. So I'm born January 14th. And then my brother, Nick, he's born July 14th. So we both have each other's half birthdays. And I think that me and my brother, Nick, are mentally very similar. And I'm a winter baby. He's a summer baby. And then my sister, Jen, she's a spring baby. She's born on March 14th. And her half birthday is my other brother's birthday. He's born September 14th. So he's a fall baby. And I always joke with my mom, like, are you a witch or something? Because, like, why do you have a baby in every season and why are we all born on the 14th? So little fun fact, we all have 14 tattoos too, which I love. So I was really pushing for 14 eggs. After you do 2.5 weeks of the hormones, or maybe it was about 3 weeks, then you go in for retrieval day. Every week you go in either once or twice a week, I can't remember exactly, for them to do an ultrasound. And essentially, if you release an egg and you get, or basically your body releases 1 egg every month. Sometimes it could be 2 eggs. That's how twins happen. When you're taking these hormones, you're releasing like anywhere from 5, 10, 20, some people even 40 eggs. So it was really cool to go into my ultrasounds and like I could just see these like eggs. I'm like, no wonder I'm so bloated. There would be like 14 eggs on this side and like 10 eggs on this side. It doesn't mean like that's how many you're going to get. One thing I wish I was told was like, what's the normal amount? I think it's hard for them to say what the normal amount is for every woman. When I went in for my egg retrieval, it was super easy. I had to get there at like 6 a.m. They put you under, like, that's fun, you know, the drugs. And I think it was like a 40-minute procedure. And then I went home, slept. I definitely got home and started crying. And I've actually realized this when I also get a pap smear. There is just something about somebody that I do not feel, I don't want to say safe because I didn't like get any inklings before the procedure, but like just somebody going into my puss that my body reacts after it. So I did feel a little emotional, a little violated, but I mean, again, they have to go in there. Like, that wouldn't stop me from doing it again. It's just something that I did notice, that I journaled about, I talked about with my therapist, and she basically was like, well, you know, it is invasive. And what's good to know is even when I'm out on the good stuff, drugs, is your body does tell you. And that's something that I've also been very in tune with my intuition and working on, just listening to my body these last 2 years. So I was really happy to just know that like my emotions was kind of saying like, hey, somebody went up there while you were asleep. They call you later that day to tell you how many eggs they got. I only got about 9 eggs, which I am kind of disappointed about. And he did mention like 3 of them or 4 of them froze really well. The other ones didn't freeze perfectly, which is usually a telltale sign of like how they're going to defrost. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, like I only have like 4 that might defrost well. And then after you add the sperm, like the odds of those, like I don't know what the odds are. I mean, after talking it through with my mom and my aunt, they're like, well, all you need is 1. So that's the part, kind of like I mentioned earlier, that I was like, I kind of felt like a number, because while I'm like at home coming off the drugs, like ordering Uber Eats, he's like, I do recommend that you do like another round. And I was just like, do I need to do another round? Like, should I not? It felt a little salesy, and whatever, it's his job. And I actually do think that it's good advice, but I was just like, I'm going to Mexico in a month for a bachelorette party. I'm not going to do another round right now. So my plan is to, if I like don't meet somebody that I picture myself having kids with by like 34, 35, I probably will do another round. And it's actually crazy that I'm talking about this topic today, because I met with a old high school friend who lives here in Mexico City, which was so awesome to meet up with her. She was telling me how she has friends fly in to get their eggs froze here because it's a lot cheaper. So maybe that's something I look into if I'm here that long, if I need to freeze my eggs again. So overall, my thoughts on freezing your eggs is, if you have the means to do it, do it. And yeah, that's kind of, I am glad I did it. We'll see. Where I went, they froze my eggs for free for a full year, which actually reminds me, I've just got an email because it's been exactly a year that I need to reach out to the place that stores them. Mine are stored, even though I got it done in LA, they're stored in a place, in Nevada. Which I did ask, because when I was getting it done last year, the Palisades fires was happening. I was like, what if like the place goes up in flames? She was like, well, these are going to be frozen in Nevada, so like you should be good. I was like, oh, Great. Sweet. Yeah, if you have any questions about freezing your eggs or anything like that, let me know. Another takeaway is please go get your AMH levels checked. It's always good to be in the know. And I'll keep you guys posted if I ever turn those into embryos or whatever it might be. And the second half of this pod is just going to debrief on my week in Mexico this last week. So it's still my birthday. Everywhere I go, I've been going to get dinner a lot by myself. And I've just been like, hey, like, es mi cumpleaños. And like, everybody has been so freaking welcoming and sweet. They always give me like a free dessert. So on Monday, it was MLK Day. I was sitting at this bar and I ordered my dessert and these group of friends were sitting next to me. It was like a 3-day weekend for them. They had some people fly in. So they were like, I don't know, on their 3-day bender, like, I don't know, closing out the week. And we start chit-chatting. What's really cool is one of the guys did remote year just like I did in Spain. So we were like a little remote year family. And a couple other gals, they were like, yeah, I've lived here for 2 years, for 5 years. Like, it's amazing. And it was just really cool to meet some like-minded people. And I'm like, look, they've been doing this for years. Like if they can do it, I can do it. They kind of gave me the lay of the land. They asked me if I wanted to go bar hopping with them. I said yes, even though it was a Monday night and I had to work. Excuse me. So we go to like this local cute little bar. They know the bartenders. They're like, it's this girl's birthday. Like, can we get her some mezcal? The waiter pours me this very expensive mezcal. I think it was Carol G's brand that like, it's really, you can't buy a bottle. I down that shit like a shot and that shit goes down smooth. I kid you not. The bartender gasped. He's like, and the friends I'm with are like, you are supposed to sip that. How embarrassed I got, you guys. My face got so red. They were like, oh my God, you're so embarrassed. I was like, I cannot believe I just took that shit as a shot. Everybody is like laughing. They're like, it's okay, it happens. I was like, I will never, ever do that again. So we're there for like a couple hours. And this was just the cool part. They're all local, right? So somebody shows up at 8, somebody shows up at 10, somebody shows up at 9. Like the local friends are just like showing up. And when they're come, I can understand a little bit of Spanish, but I'm like mingling, the music's loud. I'm like meeting these new people. I'm like, oh my God, I just like took a mezcal shot. And they're like, oh yeah, our friends already told you, like welcome to Mexico City. So I'm like, okay, that's fun. I have a little inside joke with some friends. Whatever. It was my birthday and another person's birthday, and I was obviously drinking a little bit. They had a mariachi band come in, and the waiters too, even though I freaking just shot their mezcal. They had a mariachi band come in and sing happy birthday to me and him. You guys, I literally started crying. I was like, this is just so sweet. You guys are so nice. They're just like, everybody has just been so nice. So I am happy to make those new friends. I will say towards the end of the night, these two girls got in a fight, which I am no stranger to a drunk fight with your girlfriends. That was intense. I did try to like calm the situation down briefly. It did not work, but you know what, honeys? Like, it happens. No judgment. Like, I still had a really good time. I was just like, whoa, is this the tequila talking? I was like, I am in the mix. I stayed out way too late. I think I got home at like 1 a.m. on that Monday. But I will say I felt amazing the next day. Like, I was tired, but I didn't feel hungover. So the mezcal out here, perfecto. And then I had a really good work week. Trying to think what else new and exciting happened. I met with an old high school friend today. We grabbed like a cafecito and some banana bread. She showed me her neighborhood. And I'm just so proud of her. Like, she just fucking lives in Mexico City. Like, it's so dope. And it's just nice to meet somebody like-minded, meet somebody kind of familiar, somebody who, we exchange some stories. And I just had a really good time. I also live right next to a park where I take Java. If you guys don't know, Java is extremely reactive to other dogs. He grew up with two moms. He sleeps with me. I let him eat. Like, I leave a bowl out of food, whatever I want. Like, he's not trained at all. He's a very spoiled Velcro dog. I will say his leash walking has got much better. It used to be he lunges at every dog. He doesn't really do that anymore. But I was at the park and I let him run loose because everybody does that with their dog. My dream would be to walk Java without a leash. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. The issue is Java goes up to dogs, whether on the leash or not, wags his tail and goes for the neck. He bites dogs in the neck. So I actually do need a friend with a bigger dog that is willing to check Java. I actually don't even mind if a dog like bites him. He's just never been checked. The only animal that has ever checked him was my cat Cece, who lived with me in San Diego. And he loves cats, he respects cats, and he adores them. And that's when he was little. And a dog has just never put him in his place. And like, I obviously don't want him to get bit here in Mexico where I have to go to the vet and be frantic and like not know how to communicate maybe, or, I obviously don't want anybody else's dog to get hurt. But that was really stressful. He went up to a husky and he has a cousin who was a husky that he got along. Well, I wouldn't say he got along with, but like my parents had a husky whenever we would go over, like they did chill. Like, honestly, he's just moody. If he spends time inside with a dog, he gets over it, but he's very, very protective of me out at the park. So I'm trying to go to the park and sit there for 40 minutes. The problem is when I sit, he guards. So it's easier for me to be walking. If you have tips for me, send them to me. It's just annoying. I thought I was going to have a cute little brunch poodle and I have like my protector dragon, which is so annoying. So he goes up to this husky. He's wagging his tail. I'm like, all right, we live in Mexico. New year, new Java, right? Immediately tries to bite his neck. The other dog kind of tries to bite him, misses. And then obviously I just get involved and walk away. So that was stressful, but it could have been worse. What's really nice about Mexico City is it's so dog friendly and so many people have dogs. That Java is like just very, very stimulated. So that's nice. That's all I have for you guys this week. Tonight, I got invited by one of my Hinge dates that I went on a couple weeks ago. I haven't seen him since. He is DJing at a club down the street. I'm going by myself. I'm going to go grab dinner, maybe meet some friends. And go out. And then tomorrow I signed myself up for a bicycle and taco tour, which should be really fun. I haven't done any street tacos yet, just because I still haven't pulled out any pesos. I've been using this Wise card, which does the exchange for me, so I don't like keep getting charged for a foreign charge when I use my debit card. So shame on me. Once I get paid next Friday, I'm going to go straight to the bank and get a bunch of pesos. And yeah, I hope you guys have a fabulous week. I also want to say thank you to so many people who I haven't spoken to in a long time. And strangers have been reaching out to me just saying like, thank you for sharing. And I just want to say thank you for listening. Have an amazing day.